Hello YouTube and welcome back to another episode of The Zone TV Movie Entertainment. Okay, so today we got the premiere episode of DC's Legends of Tomorrow of Season 2. Now, Legends of Tomorrow is actually basically taking the sidekicks or the secondary characters of Arrow and Flash and giving them their own show from Season 1, and then they go and travel throughout time, and they had to go after Vandal Savage in the first season. Now, that's all done, so now they have new problems now. Apparently, them going back in time has just basically messed up the timeline. So now, what they gotta do, ripping the rest of the team, they have to go and fix it up. Now, this episode basically starts back in 2016, obviously in this timeline, where Oliver Queen, gets paid a visit by some guy who's a time detective who's trying to figure out what happened to the crew. Apparently, the crew has disappeared and he has no idea where or when they are. So he gets Oliver's help to try to figure out what's going on. So they go find the ship. And who they find? They find Mick. They're actually also known as Heatwave. They find him, kind of sleeping, obviously, because something happens to him and he got left back. And then he just tells the story of how the team is going through different timelines to trying to fix history, because apparently back in 2016 there are documents and pictures and paintings and hieroglyphics of them in those timelines, so now they gotta go fix them. Basically they're in England or in France. They gotta make sure the king and queen do their business, so that way the future king and queens can rule France and they'll be good to go. Then of course they get into big trouble when they find out that Nazi Germany people have stolen or kidnapped, really, scientists of the past to build an atom bomb 1 year before the atom bomb actually really exists. Because it was 1943 when the atom bomb was actually first invented, so that it went back in 1942 to actually get the scientists to build them a little bit earlier so they can destroy New York City. So now the team has to go back and actually stop him, and then they find out that Damien Darhk is one of the head guys of this whole Nazi people team. Very cool episode. I really like this show. It's very different from what Arrow is and Flash is. Flash has a light tone, but yet it's also fun. And obviously Arrow is very dark and serious, but also has a fun tone as well. This is a mixture of both. It has action, it's got humor, it's got great characters. I mean, to me, my favorite character in this show right now is Adam, because honestly, he's basically our version of Ant-Man / Iron Man. So, yeah, Ray Palmer, who, if you remember him, he was actually Superman in the original Superman Returns movie, but now he's actually the Atom now. So, he's one of my favorite characters right now. And of course you have Sarah Lance, who's trying to get her revenge on Damien Darhk for killing Laurel in 2016. Actually she saws him, so now she wants to go kill him. So let's see what happens. But like I said, this is a fun episode to get the show started and have action in it. Very funny dialogue. You get to meet Albert Einstein in this episode. Very cool. The only thing I can say I didn't like about this episode, which I'm hoping that eventually they will tell us what happened, was that Hawkgirl was not in this episode. Now I know Hawkgirl is actually not going to be a part of the show anymore. Maybe she might come back for here and there, but we didn't get no mention of her, what happened to her, or whatever. So I don't know if they're actually going to talk about her. Maybe she decided to stay back in one timepiece, or they decided to just write her off and make it look like she never existed. So I'm hoping that's something else, and not that, they wrote her off, because that'd be kind of disappointing. But let's see what happens with the rest of the season. So far, so good. I like this episode for what it was. A lot of fun. I can't wait to see more. It's going to be bummers on Thursdays, but you know what? The whole week is all superhero shows. So at least that, I got Mondays, Supergirl, Tuesdays, Flash, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Wednesdays, Arrows, and now this is Thursdays. So at least that, and Mondays obviously got them. So yeah, I can't wait to see more. So let me know in the comments below what you guys talk about this episode, and if you've seen season 1 and what you thought about it. And personally, I really like the season 1, and if I have to grade this episode, I'll give it a 7%. I really enjoyed it for what it was. Great episode. Hope it continues strong. So keep our fingers crossed. So thank you and have a good day or night.